On the outskirts of Eldridge, where fog drapes the hills and the wind carries whispers of long-lost souls, lies Hollow Manor, a place so cursed that even the bravest dare not approach. For generations, it stood as a reminder of the horrors that unfolded within its walls, where a tragic fire claimed the lives of a family and left behind restless spirits. But this Halloween, 5 friends, Anna, Mark, Lisa, Tom, and Rachel, decide to defy the warnings and uncover the truth. What begins as a thrilling night of ghost hunting quickly turns into a nightmare as the spirits trapped in the manor reveal themselves. With each step deeper into the house, the friends are drawn closer to a deadly secret buried in the town's past. Will they escape with their lives, or become part of the haunting themselves? Only by confronting the sinister truth can they hope to survive the night, but some truths are better left forgotten. On the outskirts of the sleepy town of Eldridge, nestled among thick woods and fog-laden hills, lay an old, decrepit house known as Hollow Manor. The locals avoided it, especially around Halloween, as tales of hauntings and mysterious disappearances had been woven into the town's history for generations. Every Halloween night, the children of Eldridge dared each other to venture close to the manor, but few were brave enough to approach its rusted gates. This Halloween, however, was different. A group of 5 friends, Anna, Mark, Lisa, Tom, and Rachel, decided they would spend the night in Hollow Manor, determined to uncover the truth behind the old stories. Mark, the most adventurous of the group, said, "We can't let a spooky old house scare us. We'll grab some flashlights and snacks, and we'll be legends." Rachel, with a nervous laugh, said, "Legends are corpses." Lisa said, "Come on, it'll be fun. Think of the stories we can tell." As the sun began to set, the group gathered their gear and set out toward the manor, their laughter echoing in the crisp autumn air. The atmosphere was electric with excitement and a tinge of fear. The path leading to the manor was overgrown, the trees looming like dark sentinels, whispering secrets in the wind. Upon reaching the iron gates, the friends hesitated. The gate creaked open as if inviting them in. They exchanged nervous glances but stepped inside, the air growing colder with each step. The manor loomed before them, its windows like hollow eyes staring into the void. Anna said, "It looks worse than I imagined." Tom said, "Perfect. It's just like in the movies." They entered the manor through the heavy wooden door, which swung open with a haunting groan. Inside, the air was stale, thick with dust and the scent of mildew. Cobwebs hung in every corner, and the floor creaked ominously beneath their feet. Rachel said, "This place is a dump." Mark said, "That just adds to the creepiness." The group decided to set up in the grand living room, where the wallpaper peeled away from the walls and the furniture lay covered in sheets. They unpacked their snacks and took out their flashlights, illuminating the dark corners of the room. As they settled in, Lisa began to recount the tales she had heard about Hollow Manor. Lisa said, "They say a family lived here 100 years ago. The mother went mad after losing her children in a fire that started in this very room." Tom said, "That's just a story to scare kids." Anna said, "It's probably true. Look at this place." Mark scoffed, dismissing her concern. They laughed, but unease crept into their hearts. The wind howled outside, and the trees seemed to sway ominously, casting long shadows across the room. As the night wore on, they played games and told scary stories, but the atmosphere thickened with tension. Rachel suggested they explore the rest of the house. Rachel said, "Let's check out the upstairs. Maybe we'll find something cool." Reluctantly, the group agreed. They made their way up the staircase, which groaned under their weight, each step echoing like a heartbeat. The upper floor was darker, with shadows looming around every corner. They entered the first room, which appeared to be a child's bedroom. Old toys lay scattered on the floor, their colors faded and chipped. A small rocking chair swayed gently, as if it had just been occupied. Tom said, "This place gives me the creeps." Lisa said, "It's just the wind." But as they explored further, they began to hear soft whispers, barely audible but persistent. The sound seemed to echo from the walls, chilling them to the bone. Anna, her voice shaking, said, "Did you hear that?" Mark said, "It's probably just the house settling." They continued down the hall, opening doors to empty rooms filled with dust and despair. But each time they stopped, the whispers grew louder, more insistent. Rachel said, I don't like this. I want to go back. Tom said, just a little longer. We need to find something. As they approached the last room at the end of the hall, the whispers became frantic, swirling around them like a storm. The door stood slightly ajar, a faint light spilling out from within. Lisa said, "What's that light?" They pushed the door open and gasped. The room was untouched by time, filled with a soft golden glow. In the center stood a beautifully carved wooden crib, and on the walls hung portraits of a family. A mother, a father, and their 2 children. But the faces were blurred, as if the memories had faded away. Mark said, "This is incredible." But as they stepped further into the room, the door slammed shut behind them, plunging them into darkness. The air turned icy, and the whispers reached a deafening crescendo. Anna, panicking, said, "Open the door. Let us out." They banged on the door, but it wouldn't budge. Suddenly, a figure appeared in the corner of the room, a woman with long, flowing hair and tattered clothing. Her eyes were hollow, filled with an unfathomable sorrow. The woman said, "You should not have come here." Rachel, terrified, said, "Who are you?" The woman said, "I am the keeper of this house. You have awakened the past." The friends froze, fear gripping their hearts. Tom said, "We didn't mean any harm." The woman said, "It is too late. The children need playmates, and you will stay." The room began to spin, the walls closing in around them. The whispers transformed into cries, echoes of laughter and sorrow entwined. The friends huddled together, desperate to escape. Mark said, "We need to find a way out." But the woman raised her hand, and the room shifted. The walls dissolved, revealing the charred remnants of a once happy home. The woman said, "They lost everything in the fire. Now you will join them." Panic surged through the group as the room transformed again. They found themselves standing outside, in front of the manor, but the ground was soaked with ash and smoke. The sky above was dark, swirling with storm clouds, as if the very atmosphere mourned the tragedy. Lisa said, "We have to go back inside." Anna said, "Are you crazy? We need to get out of here." But as they turned to run, the whispers returned, louder and more chaotic. The children from the portraits materialized around them, their faces twisted in anguish, their eyes pleading for release. Rachel said, "What do you want from us?" The children pointed toward the manor, their small voices merging with the whispers. The children said, "Play with us, forever." The friends stumbled back, fear overwhelming them. They turned and ran, fleeing toward the forest that surrounded Hollow Manor. But the darkness chased them, the whispers now a cacophony of laughter and sorrow that echoed through the trees. As they plunged deeper into the woods, they heard footsteps behind them. Tom said, "They're coming for us." Mark said, "Don't look back, just keep running." Branches snagged at their clothes, and roots twisted underfoot, threatening to trip them. The whispers grew louder, a swirling tempest of voices, but the group pressed on, desperation fueling their escape. They broke through the tree line and stumbled onto the main road, gasping for breath, their hearts racing. The moon hung high, casting an eerie glow over the landscape. Lisa said, "We made it. We're safe." But as they looked back at Hollow Manor, the whispers faded into a sinister silence. The house loomed behind them, dark and foreboding. Rachel said, "Let's never speak of this again." They returned to town, shaken but relieved. The night passed, but they could not shake the feeling that they were being watched. The next day, they tried to resume their lives, but the whispers lingered in their minds, echoing through their thoughts. Weeks went by, and Halloween approached again. The friends had tried to forget their night at Hollow Manor, but it haunted their dreams, creeping into their consciousness. One evening, they gathered to discuss what had happened. Mark said, "We can't let it end like this. We need to go back and confront it." Anna, horrified, said, "Are you insane? We barely escaped," Tom said, "but what if we didn't get the whole story?" With hesitation, they reluctantly agreed to return, curiosity mingling with fear. On Halloween night, they stood once again at the gates of Hollow Manor, their hearts pounding in their chests. Rachel said, "We shouldn't be doing this." But Mark pushed the gate open, and they entered, the familiar cold air wrapping around them like a shroud. Inside, the manor was eerily quiet, the air thick with an unsettling tension. They ventured upstairs, determined to uncover the truth. The whispers were faint, almost inaudible, but they could feel a presence guiding them back to the same room. As they entered, the atmosphere shifted, The once golden light was dim and flickering, shadows dancing across the walls. The children appeared again, their faces contorted in a mix of joy and despair. The woman, materializing before them, said, "You have returned." Mark said, "We want to know what happened here." The woman said, "You must understand. This house holds the memories of those lost." The friends exchanged nervous glances, but curiosity outweighed their fear. Lisa said, "What do you mean?" The woman said, "The fire that took my children was not an accident. It was set by someone in this town who wanted to silence us, to erase us from existence." The townsfolk whispered of the tragedy, but they never spoke of the truth. Anna, trembling, said, "What truth?" The woman said, "The truth that my husband was innocent. He was blamed, and in the chaos, I lost everything. Now, I am bound to this place, guarding my children's spirits, seeking justice for our suffering." The room filled with the sound of a crackling fire, and the walls began to tremble, the memory of that fateful night swirling around them. They could see the family's last moments, flames engulfing the house, the mother's screams echoing through the air, and the laughter of children fading into despair. Tom said, "This is horrible," Rachel said. "We need to help her." Mark said, "But how?" The woman looked at them, her eyes filled with sorrow yet shining with a flicker of hope. The woman said, "You must find the truth and bring it to light. Only then can my family and I find peace." As the scene around them faded, the whispers intensified, enveloping them in a whirlwind of voices, urging them to uncover the secrets buried in the town's history. Lisa said, "We'll do it. We'll help you." The woman nodded, her figure shimmering like mist in the air. The woman said, "Thank you. But beware, for not all in this town want the truth revealed." The friends felt a sudden rush, as if they were being pushed back through the manor. The darkness of the room melted away, and they found themselves standing outside again, the cold night air biting at their skin. Rachel said, "We need to talk to the townsfolk. Someone must know something." With newfound determination, they made their way back to Eldridge, the weight of their mission heavy upon them. They decided to split up to gather information. Each of them approached different townspeople, seeking answers. Mark went to the local library, a dusty place filled with old books and forgotten stories. He asked the librarian, an elderly woman with sharp eyes. Mark said, "Do you know anything about Hollow Manor and the family that lived there?" The librarian said, "Ah, the old tales. They say the woman lost her mind after the fire. Some say her husband was responsible." Mark pressed further, searching for details. Mark said, "But what really happened?" The librarian said, "The truth is buried in the past. The townsfolk don't like to speak of it. But you might find something in the old newspapers from that time." Meanwhile, Anna visited the town square, where she found a group of older residents gathered. She approached a man who seemed to have a wealth of knowledge. Anna said, "Excuse me, sir, do you know about the family from Hollow Manor?" The man said, "Ah, yes. Tragic story. People tend to forget, but it left a mark on our town." Anna said, "What can you tell me?" The man said, "They were a well-liked family, but after the fire, the mother was blamed for her husband's supposed crimes. The townsfolk turned against her. It was a dark time." Across town, Lisa and Tom visited a local historian who had dedicated her life to uncovering the town's secrets. Lisa said, "We need to know everything about the fire at Hollow Manor." The historian said, "That incident changed Eldridge forever. The mother was accused of witchcraft. Some believed she made a deal with dark forces to save her children, while others thought she was the cause of the fire itself." Tom looked shocked. Tom said, "That's absurd." The historian said, "Fear can drive people to madness. They never saw her pain, only their own fears." The group reconvened later that evening, their hearts heavy with the knowledge they had gathered. Mark said, "The woman wasn't responsible. They treated her like a monster." Anna said, "We have to expose the truth. We need to find a way to honor her memory." Rachel said, "What if we held a town meeting? We could share what we learned." The friends agreed, determined to bring the truth to light. They organized a meeting for Halloween night, inviting all the townsfolk. As the sun set and the moon rose high, the townspeople gathered in the town hall, a place that once resonated with laughter but now felt heavy with past sorrows. The group stood at the front, hearts racing as they prepared to speak. Mark stepped forward. Mark said, "Thank you all for coming. We want to share what we found about Hollow Manor and the family that lived there." The crowd murmured, some showing interest while others shifted uncomfortably. Anna said, "The mother lost her children in a tragic fire. She was blamed for it, but the truth is she was a victim of circumstance and fear." Rachel said, "She deserves to be remembered, not condemned." Lisa said, "We need to honor her memory and ensure the town learns from its past mistakes." As the group shared their findings, the townsfolk began to listen, the weight of guilt and regret settling over the room. Some people's expressions shifted from skepticism to understanding, while others held on to their fears. An older woman stood up, her voice trembling. The woman said, "I lived through that time. I remember the whispers, the fear that gripped our hearts. We were wrong to turn on her." The crowd fell silent, and the atmosphere shifted as memories resurfaced. One by one, people began to speak up, sharing their own stories and regrets. Another townsfolk said, "I was one of those who believed the rumors. I never took the time to understand her pain." As the truth unfolded, the energy in the room changed. The whispers of the past became clearer, echoing the pain and suffering of the lost family. The friends felt the weight of Hollow Manor lift slightly, as if the spirits were finally being acknowledged. After the meeting, they walked back to Hollow Manor, the moon casting a silver light over the landscape. Tom said, "Do you think it worked?" Anna said, "I hope so. I really hope so." As they entered the manor once more, the air felt lighter. They moved to the room where they had first encountered the woman. Lisa said, "If you're here, we're sorry for what happened to you." The shadows in the room seemed to shift, and the whispers began to soften. The woman, appearing before them, said, "You have honored my family. Thank you for bringing the truth to light." Rachel said, "We just wanted to help." The woman said, "You have freed us from our chains. We can finally rest." As she spoke, the room filled with a warm glow, the sorrow lifting like a morning mist. The children appeared alongside her, their faces now radiant with joy. The woman said, "Thank you, my dear friends. We will watch over you always." With that, the spirits began to fade, leaving behind a sense of peace that enveloped the manor. The friends felt the warmth of their gratitude wash over them, the air now filled with gentle whispers of thanks. The next morning, the townspeople awoke to a new sense of community. The shadows of the past finally lifted. Hollow Manor was no longer a place of fear. It became a symbol of redemption and understanding. The friends stood outside the manor, watching as the sun rose, casting light on a new beginning. Mark said, "We did it." Anna said, "We really did." As they turned to leave, they felt a gentle breeze, a whisper of thanks carried on the wind, and that Halloween, Eldridge transformed. The townspeople came together to celebrate not only the holiday but the memory of the family they had lost. Hollow Manor became a place of remembrance, and the whispers of the past became echoes of a brighter future, reminding everyone that understanding and compassion could heal even the deepest wounds.